You are listening to the Wild Man Podcast.
All right, thank you for choosing the Wild Man Podcast. Today, my guest is, if you care to introduce yourself and say what band you're in.
Yeah. I'm Alex. I play in Boltcutter, play guitar, and yeah, thanks for having me, dude. I'm excited.
So, my first question for you is, what inspired you to play guitar, and what made you pursue slam as a whole?
Um, Shit, man, fucking like when I was growing up, there's a lot of music around. My dad plays guitar and stuff, but that never really, to be honest, inspired me all that much. He always wanted to show me how to play songs, but I never really cared. I was into like baseball and skateboarding and shit. But then Guitar Hero happened, bro. Guitar Hero 2 changed my life. And all of a sudden I was like, yo, dude, how do I play War Pigs by Black Sabbath? And that's kind of how it went from there. Once I realized, I don't know if you play guitar, but like most of metal is all just one fucking shape of your fingers and you just move it around like a power chord. Once I figured that out, I was like, it's over. I can play any song I want in the world now. So uh yeah, it was all because of Guitar Hero though, playing War Pigs.
Hell yeah. So,
And
what
then
was, oh, go ahead.
oh, go
Sorry.
ahead. Oh, I was just gonna answer the second part, I guess. When it comes to slam, I mean, I guess when you grow up, heavy music kind of evolves, and it kind of, as I got older, then I got into like punk and hardcore and stuff. And then when I was in high school, I was into all the fucking metalcore, mall metalcore shit at the time. All that Escape the Fate, Falling in Reverse shit when I was like 14. And then what happened was I was on YouTube playing. I was playing Counter Strike and listening to fucking YouTube, and then I seen the music video for "Unanswered" by Suicide Silence on the recommended or whatever, and I just seen that thumbnail. I think the thumbnail is Mitch Lucker looking all cool. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And I click on it, and it just blew my mind, dude. As soon as it starts with that fucking blast beat in the beginning, and I never even knew music could be that heavy. And then from there, it spiraled because that was like it was unanswered, and then all of a sudden now I'm getting like Abominable Putridity and fucking Cephaloptropy and all these other like more extreme bands. You kind of go down the rabbit holes and get more and more extreme. And I never knew music could be that heavy. And then yeah, and then it just spiraled from there. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it's all because of unanswered. That's the only reason I know how to play like chugs and fucking death metal and drop tunings and shit. Is all because of unanswered.
Yeah, I remember the first time I think I ever listened to Suicide Silence. It's when Hot Topic still had the CD sample thing, and you could put headphones on.
Oh, sick.
And I was like 16, and I was a metalcore kid at heart, like at that
Yeah, yeah,
time. Like I was listening to
sure,
Prada, A Day to Remember,
sure,
all
yeah,
the scene shit.
yeah, same, of course.
And then I think it was the song it had to be You Only Live Once, because I didn't know about like Suicide Silence.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And then I was like, holy shit. And I remember going into Hot Topic, seeing that CD, The Black Crown, and I was all like this, going up to my
yeah, yeah,
dad, and I'm like this, can you please give me this CD? And he was all like this.
sure.
He read the titles. He was like, fuck everything. Oh, hell no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
uh,
yeah, dude. My parents were the same way, dude. Trying to get them to be convinced about a band called Suicide Silence was kind of tricky. But like now, I mean, I don't even think they know about like the depths of like slam and shit. That shit gets pretty fucked up. But it's funny to think I remember being a kid and that feeling of like, no, I promise this shit's like awesome, but you just gotta like trust me.
well, speak of the devil, Sebastian is here. Uh, he is the new
Sick.
co-host of the Wild Man podcast. Sebastian, this is Alex from Boltcutter.
What's up, Alex? It's
Good to
great
meet
to
you, bro. How are
meet you.
you?
Hey, Jacob. What's up, buddy? Sorry,
What's up?
ran a couple minutes late.
We're just talking about the old era of deathcore, how we both found Suicide Silence in the same realm.
That's awesome. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, they were I think a pipeline for a lot of people, at least of our age and my age. pretty interesting. Like you listen to that old deathcore shit, and a lot of it is just like straight up slam riffs. It's pretty fascinating, you know.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely. Unfortunately, I kind of skipped it because we Drip and broke up, and then I went into like a corporate job, and I thought I was gonna make my happiness by buying material things, and I completely stopped playing music. So then I
sure,
skipped a couple of Jesus, like decades, and then I had to catch up, you know. And then when I
sure,
came
sure.
back, and now there's like all these new subgenres. To
Oh
me, it's
yeah,
still metal, you know. I like metal, especially when I'm listening to you guys, and I'm like, I really like this because you know, it's not just like slam, 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 slam. You guys have a lot of cool, intricate little drum parts I'm a fan of drummers
oh
because
yeah,
like I'm a guitar player and I wish I was a drummer, but I couldn't be a drummer. I suck. But I
yeah.
listen to
Same.
the drummer, he's
Yeah,
sick, dude. And he does this little
yeah.
intricate devourment type shit that's candy to my ears. I'm like, yes. And then there's a
100%.
couple of
Yeah.
sick runs and harmonies. I'm like, dude, that's pretty ill for like a you know, if I look at your cover, I would be like, okay, I know what this is going to sound like. But then when I got into it, you guys have actual good music, talented music, and it's pretty cool. I love that I was able to just pick apart your album. It's pretty sick. Your latest one, by the way, Still Broke.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you. That actually means a lot because yeah, I mean, especially coming from you, I mean, big dripping fans, obviously, and
No shit.
but I
Awesome.
appreciate the kind words, man. Like I definitely try to I try to I struggle with maybe to a fault. I struggle with like repetition or just like simplicity, and sometimes maybe I worry that I overcomplicate shit. But I appreciate that you notice some of those extra details because definitely put a lot of work into it. So thank you.
No,
And yeah, Cameron, our drummer, is I mean, we wouldn't be anything without him, dude.
it's fucking
He's the secret
sick.
sauce to it all, you know.
That snare, dude. I was like, I wish, you know, we're so dripping is so you know, we don't use triggers in the studio or nothing. We keep it old school. But I'm like, I wish I can sample that snare sound. It's like literally I'm gonna show it to Sammy and I'm gonna be like, Sammy, listen to the snare sound. We gotta get a snare sound like this on a new record because it
Oh,
sounds
that's all.
dude.
I'm pretty sure that snare was all Soto. Soto from Peeling Flesh. He mixed that record, and I'm pretty sure
Big
he was the
Mikey
mastermind
mixed
behind
that.
that snare.
Big
What's
ups to
that?
Mike. Big ups to
Oh
Mike.
yeah,
He's a good dude.
yeah, 100%. All those guys, man, especially Soto, man, they've been very instrumental into supporting us and making us what we are. So
You guys
yeah,
are
shout
kind
out
of
to
in the
Soto.
same lane. You guys remind me of my homeboy Greenfield Mike from Enemy Mine. He had a band called The Projects.
Oh
You,
yeah,
you guys kind of
oh
like,
yeah,
you know, projects started, but then there's and like again, you know, when the project started, I got out of the scene. You know, I was doing the
sure,
whole 9 to 5 and husband and wife, kids, and all that stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Now I'm on my
dude. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the projects. I mean, the projects was we were just talking about the pipeline of getting into heavy music and slam and this and that, and part of that was discovering slam worldwide. And I remember when I was like when the projects came out, I was probably 17 or 18. I must have been. But yeah, I remember when I heard that on Slam Worldwide, that was the first time I'd ever heard like somebody mixing like straight up rap sampling and like fucking heavy riffs. And it
yeah.
blew my mind, dude. And then fucking of course through that eventually I found Enemy Mine. Enemy Mine's one of my favorite hardcore bands like ever, you know. So
I
that's cool,
love
you
it.
know, Mike. Big fan of that guy.
Yeah, personally, we're good friends, and to be honest with you, he and I attempted to do music, and like I said, I wasn't really tuned in because I was doing the work stuff, and it never panned out. And then when I was ready, I'm like, listen, I got dripping back together. I want you to sing. And he's like, yeah, well, you know, I waited for you for so many years, but now I'm out of the game. And I'm like,
Yeah,
fuck,
yeah,
you know, because Mike would have
yeah,
been, you know, we love who we have now. Nothing against who we, you know, Devin or you know, or anybody that we have doing vocals, but we would have been something different if Mike would have started dripping from on our resurrection. It would have been Mike facing it. It would have been great. But we're
yeah,
here
yeah.
now to talk about Boltcutter, man.
Man, I feel
Oh
like
man, I mean, whatever you want to talk about.
You guys making a big buzz going out, you guys on tour with my homies from Chain Gang. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of Mike Greenfield, fucking uh, Hunter. He
Hunter's my homie.
kill me if I'm wrong.
Cycle of
Hunter,
Abuse.
singer of Cycle Abuse. Yeah, yeah. He was telling me. I think he's like coworkers with Mike Greenfield or something. He was telling me that, and I was tripping on that. But yeah, Chain Gang and Cycle of Abuse. That tour was awesome. That was a lot of fun. That was our first time going to the East,
I
Florida,
love
going to the
Hunter.
South.
Hunter's like my little brother.
Yeah, oh, yeah, he's awesome, dude. He's funny. Those dudes are crazy. All of them. It was that tour was a blast, man. That was a lot of fun. But thank you. I mean, just for I don't really know what we're doing to be honest. I'm just like we'll just like make like songs and then make funny videos on Instagram sometimes, and then we get to go on tour. It's badass, you know. I really don't know what to say too much off the top of my head about Boltcutter other than just like we're really kind of blown away and grateful that we get to do cool shit, you know. We get to play music and get to play slam. It's hard to like wrap my head around, to be honest. It's kind of surreal.
I
You and
think
Um
I
I both.
brought you guys up around Larry Wayne, and with Larry, he was talking
yeah,
about like the new generation of slam
yeah,
because
yeah,
when Gory Pop was in its prime,
yeah.
like there wasn't that many slam bands
Oh,
to
sure.
tour with. So like Gory Pot had a tour off of like Suicide Silence, a lot of the deathcore bands, and a lot of people were like, I don't get the slam stuff. And now
Yeah.
if you look at slam's almost to the same level that deathcore was back in the MySpace days.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty wild, man. I mean, nowadays I feel like maybe speaking more generally, it seems like uh music is so like fucking intermingled and coagulated or whatever that like
It's an awesome time. Everyone,
yeah.
it's an awesome time. It's the crossover. And sorry, not to cut you off. I
Oh, no,
think
no.
they're very open. Well, not here in Miami, but everywhere else. I think everybody supports, just across the board, and you can intermingle. You'll see Suffocation touring with some deathcore, metalcore bands, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
an awesome thing to see where it was done in my era. You would see like the Cro-Mags and Leeway probably do stuff with some metal bands, or
Sure.
Marauder do stuff with some metal bands, but it was just very limited to one or like
Yeah.
you like Obituary maybe crossing with Agnostic Front, but then that's where it stops. And then the fans, it'll be a rough time because you have the hardcore fans and the metal fans, and they never got along. Now
Yeah, yeah.
kids will listen to Peeling Flesh and they'll listen to Deeds of Flesh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a cool thing to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, it's funny like I'm a little younger, so I mean I always hear about like back in the day, like fucking fans getting in fights and shit. You'd have a show where it'd be like a fucking death metal band and a hardcore band, and fans getting in fights and shit over like moshing this and that.
Massacre.
And
It was
it,
massacres.
that's what I hear, and I feel very grateful that uh, maybe when I was like younger and I was like a kid, but I wasn't really like wrapped up in it. But I feel very fortunate in today's day and age to kind of be in an era of a music world where that crossover is much more generous. I think people are realizing like okay, if you have like a beatdown band and then you got like a straight up slam band and then you've got like a death metal band, it's like really at the end of the day, like to most of the people in the crowd nowadays, it's all kind of the same energy in the sense that like as long as you can mosh to it, like all these bands can play together and everyone will get along. You know what I mean? Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like you
so
look at like the All Star tour, I think Vincent from the Acacia Strain said it best. Back then, their tours didn't make sense for them because half the time
Yeah,
you saw the Acacia Strain on the All Star tour, where you would see like Asking Alexandria, like the metalcore bands, and all the
sure.
fans would be up front and close to the barricade, and you would see the Acacia Strain getting flicked off because they were that band that's like kind of in the hardcore realm.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, it was rough back then. And you would have, or some bands would get like where everyone would just leave when they went on, and then you're like, oh, damn it. This kind of,
sure.
we played our first crossover, one of our first few crossover shows the other day with Sky Came Falling. couple months ago, and it was awesome. And like a lot of it was good to see a lot of emo kids support a brutal death metal band,
Sure.
and they stayed. And Sky, I was like, I'm telling Devin, I'm like, dude, Sky came falling, goes off, and this is gonna empty out, and it didn't.
Yeah.
It was a packed
Yeah.
show. I'm so grateful for that. You guys, your generation, you guys are very open-minded. It's teaching us old guys to get out of our set ways.
I think
I
that
mean, it's I think I don't know. I mean, I can't really like speak for everybody, but at least personally, my own philosophy is like especially when I was younger, spent a lot of time like being a hater, like it's so easy to talk shit on music even if you don't necessarily like it, but like as I've like grown older and like now we have now I have my band that I'm doing, and it's like I have kind of gotten better at gaining perspective of like this is a lot of fucking work for like anybody like trying to do a band, so it's like
And not enough money, dude, and not
not
enough
enough, no
reward
fucking
of
money
that.
at all, especially for extreme music.
Right.
So it gets easier to like, even if I don't understand or like necessarily like it's not necessarily my cup of tea, like I have all respect for anybody who's like trying to do music and trying to make it happen, because like it's a lot of work, it takes a lot of passion. So it's like I can understand uh and respect anybody in any style of music, even if it's not really my cup of tea, you know what I mean? um and also speaking on that, the other thing that's kind of crazy, it seems like the more time goes on, the growth in the process of like new music coming out is getting faster and faster and faster, and that's kind of hard to wrap my head around. Like there's this whole like wave right now of all these like they're strictly like deathcore revival bands, and they're kids even younger than me, they're like fucking they're 16, 17-year-old kids
And they're
doing
so
bands now,
talented. They're like,
and they're
I
badass.
on
Yeah.
guitar, I'm like, how do you guys get so good? I mean, I guess being born with YouTube, helped a lot, and having access to that. I
Or
know you're
not.
doing that. I
Man,
These
when
kids
yeah, I mean,
live
when I
here.
was 17, none of my bands were that good. But you look at like what's that band, Reverent? They're pretty sick, and fucking
Yeah,
Nine Dead.
uh Nine Dead. There's
Dead
this
is
other band
awesome. I
called
love Nine Dead. Nine Dead's
what do you
great.
call there's this band called Thus Spoke Zatharda or some shit like that. I
Yeah.
forget. I can't pronounce it, but I met them. Those guys are cool, and it's just it's I think people are realizing that like it's better for everybody when people are supportive of each other. Like hating, just like it slows the growth down for everybody.
I
Like
think
we're
so.
all in this shit together.
Yeah, and I think your generation, as opposed to my generation, there's a lot of hate in my generation, and there was like gangs, and there was racist skinheads, non-racist skinheads. There was just like a whole vibe of. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole with that, but I think your generation, is very open to, it's against racism, is against sexism, is against, and you guys
Sure.
do a good job at like just making sure that you won't support somebody who acts like an asshole. You guys are they get cut off and flagged and canceled.
Sure.
And that did a
Sure.
lot for people to kind of behave, because now we're walking around with portable freaking broadcasters, right? You're gonna act
Sure.
like
Sure.
an asshole,
Yeah.
someone's gonna film you. So, and you being an artist now, and now you're worldwide artist now, because anybody can see you. If they can't go to your show, they can watch your videos from anywhere across the world, and you have a reputation to keep, and you have fans that you don't even know. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And you being that
Sure.
example, I love the way you think. I always thought that way too. I always, if it might not be my style, but I do respect the grind because I know what it takes to leave your house and drive somewhere and play in front of five people and have no money and get stuffed in the back of a car and tuck your shit, and we
Oh
never
yeah.
had a tour bus or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. It takes a lot of fucking passion. I mean, I don't need to tell you. We all know. So I don't know. Yeah, it's just something I try to work on. Try to be supportive and positive. But I think it's low hanging fruit to talk shit on other bands or to hate on other people, and it just really doesn't get it gets nothing done most of the time. I find.
Oh yeah, 90% of the time, like if you look at it, like I've been very fortunate in being in a group of 36 guys that go to shows together and we're all supportive of each other.
That's awesome.
And
Yeah,
like legitly you have everybody that listens to something that someone else doesn't listen to per se. Like we all listen to our own genres, but we all give each other crap, but it's in love anymore. It's
oh
not
sure, sure,
like giving each other shit. Like we'll be in the middle of a chat and I'll send like a ridiculous slam band I find on like Metal Archives. Like I'm like this. Hey guys, I just found this band called Anal Stabbing,
Mhm.
and
yeah,
they're
dude,
just like, what the fuck?
yeah,
I have little chats like that. Not necessarily 36 guys, but I have like my crew, and we all try to share obscure stuff here and there, and I get it. But no, it's a blessing what we're doing nowadays. If there's no need to hate, there's room for everyone. And everything's been invented. I I might not like something, I'm not really a fan of the your cookie cutter, perfect snap to grid, quantized, triggered death metal, but
sure,
I respect the artist and listen, I like EDM, so who am I to talk and say that
sure, sure,
you snap in the grid? What I'm not going to name the bands, but the way certain bands do their recordings, a lot of these brutal death metal bands record at a lower tempo, speed up in the studio, and they do a lot of cheating stuff, And
sure, sure.
I don't have to tell you, I'm sure you listen to the albums and you know who they are. We don't have to bash anybody. I completely respect that too. If that's what you like, I can't talk shit on you. I like fucking house music. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure,
to be
sure,
like,
sure. Yeah,
hit a button and you make a sound. So to your point, I try to support everybody. I try to buy people's merch. I'm not the guy. Let me get a free shirt. No, dude. I want to buy your shirt. I got a Nuclear Remains shirt signed. I paid for it. And there are fans that fans of Dripping, and I'm like, how about you sign my shirt? How about I buy one of your shirts and you guys sign?
sure, sure. Yeah,
That's the way I
that
try to
band,
roll.
that band's badass, dude. Nuclear
Fucking,
Remains
I
is
love those
awesome.
guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Where are you at in the West? Cali?
I'm from Cali originally. We live in Boltcutter's based out of Oregon. But
Okay.
I was born and raised in Sacramento. I moved up here like 3, 4 years ago, um, which is a little bit different now. It's pretty dreary and rainy and shitty
Are
today,
all
but
you guys from the same area?
more or less. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, none of us are actually really from here originally. Cameron is from SoCal, around LA. Our drummer, and then yeah, I was born and raised in Sacramento. And our other guitar player Josh is from Utah, and then fucking our singer now Tristan, he lives up in Washington. So, but we all kind of ended up around here in Central Oregon, and then now we're all fucking separated again. But we just kind of stuck with saying that we're from Oregon because that's where we started. But yeah, nowadays we're all kind of remote now. Our singer Tristan, like I said, he lives up in Washington. Cameron lives in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm still here in Oregon, but plotting on moving somewhere else. So, but I
Yeah,
mean,
a lot of people are remote. We're remote too. It's
yeah,
painful.
I mean, it's
You
easy
know,
these days, though. I mean,
yeah.
as long as you guys know how to play the songs, you can make it work over the computer. You know what I mean? Just when it
We
comes,
don't
as long
even
as everyone's
practice
doing their
remote.
work.
We literally like we practice like it's different for us because we fly in or drive in like 3 days before we play and we just pound it
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah,
Right before we play. Like we're somewhere wherever we go, we're 3 days. But
yeah.
yeah, nowadays, Jacob and I should start a project. You know what I mean? The three of us should start a fucking project, dude. You could do it.
That's how it is,
Oh,
man. You could just do it. It's all
yeah,
because the internet, bro. You could just do everything, and everything's done in the computer anyway. So you're already on the internet. So all you got to do is just Dropbox the shit back and forth, and you can start a band like that.
yeah.
It's kind of, I mean, even when we all lived here, that's kind of how this band started. Like all of our songs are just like written right here in this room on this computer. We just send the files back and forth and then call it a day.
Yeah.
So it's definitely it's a blessing, you know. Anyone can make music pretty easily with all the resources we got, all the technology. It's pretty mind blowing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
I
it's a
don't.
blessing, but it's hurtful too because I find that like on the flip side, they are people who are still a little entitled. And like I said, they'll start. I think Jacob, you and I spoke on this when we were sitting down, how people start these bands and they don't want to support, and then they hit you up on Instagram and they want to instantly be like thinking that you owe them something, and you're like, hey, hold on a minute. You know what I mean? I know you laid some MIDI drums and you played some guitar tracks and you did some vocals and listen, I'm that's awesome. That's amazing, and I respect you that you're starting out, and I respect you that you're shooting for the stars. But slow down. You'll get your chance, right,
oh yeah,
Jacob?
like pretty much like the way I look at it, I grew up in the Midwest where you like the closest thing for me is Chicago. I I've been very fortunate enough. Like I have like my roommate, shout out to Alex.
Yeah,
He's in a band called Integument, and they started here. Like in the where I am in Iowa, there's a bunch of local bands and everything, and like those guys are growing and growing and growing, but it sucks because we're stuck in the middle and you have to go up to Chicago, Minneapolis, Milwaukee, or go south
right.
to like Kansas City, St. Louis, and do shows. And like I respect everything you got. Like a lot of bands come through and put on a show for us, and we've been very fortunate enough.
Mhm.
And like I tell a lot of people, when you start at a band, and I'm pretty sure you both can attest to this, you always don't want to forget where you came from because you
Absolutely.
want to play a home show.
100%.
Some of these people are going to look at you like this. We went to your show, came to support you. At the same time, you didn't come out and do the same thing for us.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Oh, absolutely, man. 100%. Yeah. You gotta, I try to as best as I could. I just recently we played a show in Long Island and there's this band Scumbag, man. They're freaking awesome. They blew me away. Like I don't want to go on after them. I was like, holy shit, we gotta go on after these guys. I was like, damn.
I know that feeling, dude.
You know
I
what I
know
mean?
that
Like,
feeling.
God, and
I hate
even
that
though we're,
shit,
we're
bro.
different styles, and these guys were just on it. They're just like, and they blew me away. And yeah, dude, I'm this. What happens, and my wife always likes to tell me, not to brag about myself. Oh, we're gonna get off me. I'm gonna get back to Boltcutter.
Ugh,
I'm a
it's all right.
fan. Like we play Maryland Death Fest, and I seen Ross from Immolation, and I'm like, holy shit, bro. And I'm like,
Yeah.
can we get a
Yeah.
picture together? And he was like, absolutely. And I'm like, fucking met my Superman. Fine. I'm a huge fan of
Sure.
Immolation. They're not only from where I grew up in Jersey, they're like 30 minutes away. I've seen him around before. I've been a fan, but it was the moment where I can be like, we share this kind of share the stage or whatever. And
Yeah.
picture with him, and my wife's always like, you just never stop being a fan. You don't realize what you're doing, and I'm like, I don't think so. I think that I'm still that fucking 16-year-old kid because I'll
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
yes, we'll play in the middle of Iowa for free for like a an animal benefit, and she's like, what are you doing? Like, like what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to the dogs? What's going to happen to like, how are we going to pay the rent? And I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. Oh, that's reality. But me, I'm just like,
Yeah.
well, fucking do it. No money, man.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean? Like just for the love of it.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm prone to that as well.
Oh, I
I fan
suffer
out
from
all
that.
the time.
I'm like,
I
yes.
fan out all the time, man. We were so some buddies of mine in this band called Slime from up here in Oregon, like hardcore band. Sick. If you haven't heard Slime, you should check them out.
I'm gonna
Anyways,
put on my note to check them out.
we were out on the road with them and uh on Peeling Flesh. They were doing their album release headliner, and they took Slime out, and I was out running merch for them, and fucking it was San Diego, I think. Yeah, it was San
I
Diego. We
love
were
San
in,
Diego.
and fucking uh I had one of those fan out moments where I was like, you get all in your head, you're like, I know I'm acting like a fan, I should just be like chilling, but fucking they
Mhm.
Peeling brought out Angel, the singer of
Ochoa?
Cephalophagy. Yeah,
Ochoa?
yeah. So
I gotta come up
he
to Angel. I need him on a feature on the new
dude,
Dripping.
yeah, he came out to that show and fucking I was talking to beforehand. I was talking to Soto and D from Peeling, and I was like, they were telling me that he was going to come to the show, and I was like, look, man, like I don't want to be that guy, but can you like introduce me and this and that? So he pulls up, and then they call me over, and I'm just like, oh, big fan, man. I'm like, oh, it's so cool to meet you, and I'm like sitting there fanning out, and I'm like, oh, I gotta just be cool, but it's like it's hard not to, man, because I feel like a little
And
kid
I'm
every
so
time we
glad
play a
he's like
show
the
or meet
greatest
someone.
guy. He's the greatest guy to sorry to give flowers to because he's a
Yeah,
fucking.
yeah.
I
Oh, he
love
was cool, man. He was really sweet, man. It was really dope. But of
Angel's the shit, man. That whole that's I don't even know how to pronounce it, but just the Scourge, the Violent Vomit, Diego, those are
course,
homies, man. They've been doing
fuck yeah, yeah, of
we worships Dripping worship the Scourge and early devourment.
course,
That's what
of
we were like.
course, yeah, yeah,
We heard it on the East Coast. We're like, dude, we gotta sound like that, guys.
yeah.
I have a sick cat, and I have to go make sure she's okay. I'll be right back, and I'll get some
All
more.
good, brother.
I
All
apologize.
good, all good, bro.
Oh man, I really appreciate you doing this, by the way. Like, dude, like I never
Oh,
seen
it's my
like
pleasure.
seeing your guys' logo. I feel like you guys, and Peel and Flesh have like the same like logo design.
Did you get it from Did you get it from Root Dead Logos by chance? Did you get yours?
No, I got mine from Audric Goldfinger.
Okay, hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, I want
Because
to
I
shout out Root Dead Logo, man. He's I think he's out in the Philippines or something, or maybe fucking Indonesia. I think he's in Indonesia. Root Dead. He's the goat. He's my favorite like slam logo guy.
I think
But
he
yeah.
hit me up the other day because like he hit me up. He's like, "Hey man," I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "Do you need a new logo?" I was all like this. I'm gonna send you to Audric and let you discuss who gets the rights to do my logos because like I sent
Dude,
it to Audric because like I had a just a basic metal one
sure,
and
sure.
I got bored and I seen Audric was selling some art and I was like, "This, I want that piece of art." And as soon as he posted it, I was like, "Dibs."
Yeah, yeah. Dude,
And
we're
like,
always in our camp, especially me and Tristan, our singer. Me and Tristan nowadays is mostly Tristan. We do most of our design stuff and we're big like design nerds and shit. And we're always talking about and trying to stay tapped in on all the like logo artists and like artwork artists and shit. And it's pretty funny. We're always like paying attention. It seems like out in like those Southeast Asian countries is where like most of the like the hot artists are for like
Mhm.
logos. And it's funny, man. We're always like a lot of them fools. They're really on their grind, dude. They'll message you on Instagram
Oh, dude,
DMs
all
like
fucking
fucking
day. I have to
every
be like
week. Like,
dumbfounded
yo,
here.
bro, you need a logo. It's so funny, man.
I
We're
got
always
beat,
laughing about
man.
that.
I sent 80, like when me coming back to, I'm ancient. So Dripping getting back together, starting an Instagram, and I'm like, okay, we need some artwork. And I randomly sent $85 to some Asian dude, and I never
Yeah,
got the artwork.
yeah, dude. That's all right. There's a guy who owes me some artwork for like 100
Yeah, I'm
bucks,
like, oh, this guy
but
was
I'm
like a
just.
fake account and disappeared after I paid him.
Oh,
Accountants.
really?
I'm like, okay, it's that
if
$85. All right.
if you guys
Yeah,
ever need
that
artwork,
happens sometimes. There's a fool who owes me some artwork, but I'm just gonna let it go. Charge it to the game. It happens, but
if you
whatever.
guys ever need artwork, I definitely I'm gonna give a shout out to Audric. Audric is the homie. He's done stuff for like Suicide Silence, Slaughter
That's
to
it.
Prevail, uh, Waken the Cadaver,
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
and he's super sweet and down to earth. Like he literally, I think it was a day before my birthday, and I was just laying in bed, and I was just like, all I remember is it's 7 o'clock at night before my birthday, and he puts on my wall, "Happy birthday to the biggest bro in the world." I was like, "Oh
Yeah,
no,
That's it,
yeah,
no!"
man.
I was like, "This is
Yeah,
embarrassing."
dude.
Then like when you message him, he doesn't know English that well, so he'll message me, "What's up, beep?" And I was like, "You can't say that."
Yeah, it's funny. They're always calling you bro or boss and shit. It's funny, man.
boss. Boss is the big one.
Boss is a
and East Asia, right?
Oh yeah,
Indonesia, Philippines.
But it's
dude,
definitely
it's
cool
funny.
seeing you guys pick up so much traction. Like I think like I tell a lot of the people, Slam is in a new shed of light because of everything going on in it. Like you
Sure.
guys have a lot more heart and a lot more dedication, it seems. Like I love brutal death metal, and that's another scene that's picking up a lot of traction because of Slam.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing about like slam and brutal death and all the adjacent things is, I think historically it's always been popping if you knew where to look. You know, like there's always been brutal death and slam going on in a sort of underground circle, because it's like pretty niche and like extreme music. You know what I mean? So. Uh, it's always required like a certain level of like uh what's the word, like, I don't want to sound all pretentious or whatever, but it requires like a certain level of commitment or like passion for it because it's so fucking uh abrasive and not really like generally uh marketable, if you will. um but now, because of like a lot of bands like Snuffed and Peeling Flesh, like it's like everybody owes everything to those two bands, really, for I believe, for bringing it to a more mainstream audience, you know. But
Oh
it's
yeah,
definitely always
they did
been
do
there,
it.
you know.
They
Like
did do it.
just because of the nature of how extreme the music is, you know. Like you can't understand the lyrics, the guitars are detuned to fuck, and it's really brutal, and the blast beats are fucking abrasive. And but I mean, to all of us, that's what we love about it. But
Yeah.
I think now it's kind of like it was always preloaded. It took the right band to kind of shoot the gun, and now everything's fucking flying out, and all these people are catching on to like pretty badass music, you know. Um, and like as an average listener, like maybe you find like a band that you like that's brutal or whatever, and it leads to another band. I feel I'm honestly envious for new listeners because they get to discover like fucking decades of insane bands, you know.
Oh yeah,
Um,
100%. Like
so
without like some of the stuff we got going on anymore, it's just like I definitely give it to Pilling. Like I love Jason like you love Soho. Jason's the homie.
yeah,
Like
Jason's dope, man.
talking to him every time. And like I remember seeing them in Reggie's, and I've been very fortunate to sit down and when they're eating, just chill with them and talk with them and everything.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like not many people like explored like talking to them and chilling with them. And like I think like it was me, Joey, Jason, and B. We were all just chilling there, and they all signed the. I have a record, their second record, and it's all signed by them. And I'm just like, this is fucking absolutely crazy. I never thought this was gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, I got
Yeah,
a picture with them, and I think it's funny because if you like, I'll send you the picture after we get done. In the picture, they're all looking at the camera. I'm looking to the side, like I was just like this. Oh fuck, I'm looking retarded when they're over here. This like, I'm just like, man, I'm the one
it's
who's
all right.
like trying to get like they're all like look at the camera.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I
No,
love
those guys are
Soho to
sweet,
death.
man. Like, I mean, all those guys are a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Like, those guys are hella tapped into all slam stuff, and they're really about like this world of like underground brutal death metal shit. I mean, even when Boltcutter started, like, I don't even think we might not have even had a fucking song out yet. I don't even remember, or maybe we had one track out. I think we had one song out. It was this song called Peterbilt Homicide, and
I love Peterbilt.
hey, thanks, yeah. I think we only had that song out at this time, and they came to Portland for the first time, and so we all went to go see him and stuff. We walk in a little early, and I one of them, it might have been D, was like, "Are you guys Bolt Cutter?" We didn't even say hi yet. We just walked in the door, you know. But somehow they knew who we were, and like very welcoming, sweet guys, you know, and they're really tapped into what's going on. I think that's a big part of their success, you know.
We have
I
big
think
time.
Slam did. Sorry guys, just to give my 2 cents to
Of course.
what I observed from. I think what Slam did is made it possible for the snobby DM death metal, brutal death metal elite guy to get the fuck out of the way, and the skateboarders and the guys who like beat down to be able to, and the guys who like metalcore and deathcore to be able to get into some of the brutal stuff as well. It opened the door. I think a lot of the slam bands like Peeling Flesh is the reason why, some people heard of us because, they listen to Peeling Flesh and they start going down the rabbit hole, then they find out
100%.
about ripping and like, because if it wasn't for like the slam genre and Peel and Flesh and those guys, the gate would have been closed, because it was the elite death metal guy who was not going to pay attention to anything that had maybe a hip hop sample in it or something that wasn't brutal. And you know what I'm
Sure.
talking about, like the
Oh,
skateboard
absolutely.
beat down kids were able to mesh all in one room, the metalcore kids. And that's my observation coming from somebody who took a break and somebody from the brutal death metal scene, which I admire. If you're playing music and you're doing your art, I respect it. That's bottom
Oh,
line.
100%. Yeah, I think what those guys did was, or still continue to do, is they mastered like taking some. I don't know if it's even intentional or not, but maybe it's just what they do is they take objectively like abrasive and unappealing music to like most people, and they make it extremely palatable and catchy and fun, because
Yeah,
so much of brutal death and slam is like it's either the most fucked up, vile, putrid, fucking rotting intestine sicko shit, or it's like the complete opposite, and it's so silly and memey and like
I can't keep up with it.
ridiculous. It's
And
like,
I'm not saying anything bad about. I there's just so I can't
they
keep up with the anal infested. No shit. No,
there's a time and place for all of it,
anal
I mean.
infested cyst with another medical term.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
cool. I respect that you're doing what you're doing. I just can't. When you hear that little candy in my ear, then I can remember you. You know what I mean? Like I'm telling you
100%, yeah.
drum parts and your little licks that you were playing in between and the intricate guitar work. And same thing for Peel and Flesh, dude. I got to we played with them and I got to watch those guys from the stage. And I'm like, okay, so these guys are rocking the house, like, and then you hear a Biggie sample and like, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I love Biggie. You know what I mean? Or you hear like
Sure,
some kind
sure,
of
sure.
pops. That's cool that you're able to bring these kids to accept both of the cultures that, and all the cultures of what you guys listen to. Because I think I spoke
Yeah,
with those, and they're into brutal death metal as well. They're not, they're no shy into the culture. They know what they're doing and
absolutely.
they're doing it right, man. And lots of props and lots of love and more success for them. They deserve it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's ultimately the goal. I think is it's a constant like it's a constant battle of like trying to find a way to reconcile all these different things. Like, I mean, I personally, me and our singer Tristan, like we both started out making music by making beats and fucking selling beats on fucking beat stars and shit, and trying to make it in the rap world and shit,
Right.
and trying to reconcile that part of ourselves and the music that we love, and is pretty foundational to who we are as like musicians, but then also like take something that's like brutal and heavy and groovy and slamming, and finding a way to kind of combine those two worlds in like an effective manner is really uh challenging and really hard. But I mean, I think when bands like the Projects happened, and then I think PF who really mastered people are starting to wake up and realize like, oh, like you could just take like anything and combine anything, and like if you do it right you can make anything work.
But
And
if you
like,
think about it, it's a closed world, right? You're there. You're on. I used to be in the hip hop. I'm not no longer in the hip hop. I like the older stuff. I can't
sure,
understand some stuff, but it's a parallel world. It's the same grind, and I think if they
it's all
both
the same.
had a chance, they would understand each other. but it always meshed with hardcore, but now meshing it with brutal death
Sure.
metal, it's unique. I gotta give, like it's not something that I would personally play because we do our own thing, but I think that I would for sure. I think that it's brave to do that, and then to make it so successful. That's amazing. That's amazing.
I
Well,
think that
it's like, I mean, it would be a challenge to find any musician of any style who's only influenced by one thing. And most of the time,
I agree.
if you can't find that person, their music probably is pretty boring. Like
Yeah, I
everybody
agree.
loves everything, you know what I mean? And I think it's more interesting and more fun to try to when you try to combine things, cuz I mean, unfortunately, at this stage in history and in music, most everything's been done. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, so now I think the only route to like move music forward really is to combine outside influences and to combine different things, because all the blueprints have all been laid down for decades in all the genres.
I
So the only
agree.
way to make anything new now is to mix shit up and to combine it, and I think that's where like it seems to be a really natural crossover for like rap and like heavy music. Is it's like, well, both slam and rap, a foundational part of them is combining influences. Like if you look at like, how can I put this, like okay, sampling, for example. I mean, whether it's rap sampling or just putting a movie sample, I mean,
Mhm.
rap is uh sampling is like one of the most important ingredients of rap music as a whole. and
Oh,
and
absolutely. All of hip hop's been
oh
most,
yeah,
all your major classics that you want to name, then you can take that sample from some kind of jazz, and we would get,
it's a part
again,
of the DNA.
for sure. I remember, just living in a growing up and where we grew up and where we started, and we would, we didn't do it like you guys, but our friends were into hip hop and they'll be at our shows and, help us bring equipment in, and people look at us like, like, whoa, who are these guys with? And it'll come dripping with like three thugs from the hood that were my friends. You know what I mean? They
Sure,
weren't necessarily into brutal death metal, but they were coming there to support me. They didn't listen to death metal, but now for you
sure,
guys, it's more acceptable, like you can see somebody wearing some baggy pants and a Scully and you guys playing slam, it's
sure.
back in my day, it was kind of like, what are you doing? And we
Well,
would get
dude, it's
that look, because we would have friends in hip hop and they come support, or just thugs from the neighborhood that would roadie for us or something.
sure. Well, I mean, and I've been thinking about this recently too. Like, uh, something that's pretty interesting rabbit hole to go down is like, I mean, the history of like, like rap and hip hop culture, whatever, crossing over into like underground metal. I mean, that goes back fucking decades. I mean, you look at like, I mean, you could look at like, like, okay, great example. I mean, you can go back as far as like Soils of Fate and fucking or if you want to stay like in the States, I mean, all of like early New York hardcore and New York death metal, like there's
Fuck yeah.
always been this sort of crossover of like rap and hip hop culture with death metal in some fashion for decades. It's just
Yeah, man.
nowadays it's just there's just like the current uh what's the word, the current iteration of that or whatever. But I mean, this shit goes back for decades, especially with New York and like New Jersey death metal and stuff. I think,
Run DMC and Aerosmith, man. You know,
I mean, fucking
off
yeah,
this way.
fuck it,
Run DMC,
you know.
Aerosmith, Beastie Boys. I mean, it's been done. KRS One, sick of it all. It's
I
been done.
mean, in my own
I
experience, the
Junior, Del
first
Funky Homo
first thing that I
Sapien.
ever, yeah, oh yeah, 100%. I mean,
Classics. So, Judgment Night soundtrack. There's some classics on there.
for me, the first thing I ever heard that was ever, I think, really technically the first thing I ever heard that was like a rap and metal crossover was when Anthrax did that track with Public
Oh,
Enemy. They did the Bring the Noise shit.
Yeah.
I mean, people have been trying to do it for and doing it for decades. You know, that shit's always had little pockets of crossover. You know, whether it's with the fashion or straight up sampling or features. I think now, I mean, what the bands like kind of what we're trying to do and Peeling and all these other bands is like it's just the modern take of that. You know, but it's always existed and it's always had crossover. And I think there's just it's always going to exist in some form or fashion because at its core everything shares the same kind of DNA, really. You know,
Yeah.
it's the same kind of groove, it's the same kind of vibe, it's just in a different
I mean,
flavor, whether
slams
it's
are hip
brutal
hop
death
beat,
or it's
right?
rap. What's that?
Breakdown and slams are a hip hop beat.
Oh, 100%,
You know, if,
100%,
if,
dude.
if you take it back to even the Suffocation, and like I'm not speaking for Suffocation or Mike Smith or what he wrote, but to me, if I was to understand, and the way you play a slam beat, it's the same way you play a hip hop beat. I mean, just simple.
Oh, 100%, yeah. I mean fucking talking about Suffocation, that Legion of Veracity riff alone is like everybody kind of credits that as like one of the first slam riffs or whatever, but it's I kind of like to it's
Played
pretty
by a
funny.
rapper, right? Grim Real, Mike Smith. His rap, his rap stage name is Grim Reaper or Grim. No, not Grim Real. Is it Grim Real? It might be Grim Real. I didn't do
Hmm,
much research on it, but I know he raps, and I heard the album. Drummer Suffocation, Mike Smith, huge
yeah.
prop, innovator,
Oh yeah.
inventor.
I feel like you
Have
guys
you
should
seen
do
those?
a sample. I just want to see Boltcutter do it or some slam band if they hear this. Please use the sample that from Family Guy, Gilf, that scene where Peter Lois is like, "I'll just donate this to the homeless," and it's literally, and the homeless guy's all like this. You know what Gilf stands for, right? And it's the old guy's like, "Yeah, God, I love fentanyl."
No shit, I never heard
I just
I don't
want to
know,
catch
man.
one band sample it.
It's
it.
it's funny, man. Like nowadays, Family Guy is kind of like a big Family Guy memes and samples are huge right now on the internet, whatever. But I feel like Suicide Silence kind of cornered the market on the Family Guy sample thing. It's kind of if I were to hear a Family Guy sample in a song, I immediately just think of Suicide Silence. If you ever heard those old EPs and demos they were pretty famous for that back in the day. But
Oh yeah, here soon we have Rich coming on, so I'm definitely gonna ask him about the Family Guy stuff.
Pick his
sick,
brain a
sick,
little bit, right?
dope, yeah, yeah,
So I don't have anything else to talk about. I think we're
cool,
good.
dope, man. Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, man. It's great having you.
Oh, likewise, man. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to chat and hang out, man. It's really cool.
We got to get you back. I want to pick your brain on gear when we have more time.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck, man. We kind of got derailed a little bit, but I can talk about
No, it's
gear,
all
talk
good,
about
man.
riffs,
This
talk
is
about
all
anything
fine.
you want.
It's your
Yeah.
show. So
Where are you based out of nowadays? You in you said you're in Miami?
I live in Miami. Yeah, yeah. I'm
Okay,
not
I'm
in.
trying to think if we're going out that way, but if we are, I'll reach out. You should come out to a show. It'd be cool to
Listen,
meet up with you.
absolutely. I can even travel up to Tampa. It's about 4 hours away. Hit me up on
Okay, bet.
Instagram.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
my personal or the dripping. Just sent me a message, dude, and let's link up.
Absolutely.
I think that especially if you're with with Dennis and the boys in Chain Gang. I known Dennis for a long time before Chain Gang. And
Oh yeah.
same that's how we ran into each other because he lived in Florida and I lived in Florida. I go, oh shit, we all live in Florida now. I'm like, hey, what's up?
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
think he's a Long Island guy originally, I think.
Queens, yeah, Long Island,
Okay.
Queens, yeah, same
Okay.
shit. But
Hell
yeah,
yeah, hell yeah.
dude, let's shit, man, let's link up, man, for sure.
Bet.
You know, brought us
Bet,
together,
definitely.
we'll make something out of it.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, appreciate you
Awesome
guys.
to
Thank you
have you.
guys. Of
Thank you, man.
course. Appreciate y'all.
Yep.
All right, brothers.